All right, let's just jump right in. This one's for anyone who's ever been told to grow up or to act your age. We're going to break down why that might just be the worst advice you could ever get, and we've got the science to back it up. So, does this sound familiar? You're doing all the things, right? You've got the fitness trackers, the meditation apps, you're drinking the green juice, you are doing everything you're supposed to do. And yet, something still feels a little off. If that's you, you are definitely not alone. And this, right here, is the heart of the problem. We've got all this research from places like McKinsey showing this completely wild paradox. Younger folks are pouring more time and money into wellness than any generation in history, but they're also reporting the worst mental well-being. So what on earth is going on? This brings us to what we can call the wellness paradox. It's this baffling idea that our nonstop, hyper-focused chase for wellness might actually be the very thing making us unwell. It kind of forces us to ask a really uncomfortable question. What if our whole approach to self-care is just adding more stress to our lives? I mean, think about it. So much of today's wellness culture is about performance. It's another job. It's about hitting your sleep score, closing your rings, counting your macros. It's this solo grind for self-optimization. But what if that constant pressure to perform, even in our downtime, is just burning us out even more? So what's the missing piece here? Well, the diagnosis might be that we've optimized and disciplined ourselves right out of something completely, fundamentally human. We've forgotten the lost art of play. I love this slide because it just perfectly captures that battle going on inside all of our heads, right? You've got that adult voice, the inner critic that's always pushing for productivity, goals, efficiency. But then there's that other, quieter voice, the play voice. It's curious, it's spontaneous. And for a lot of us, that adult voice has been screaming so loudly for so long that we can barely even hear the play voice anymore. Now, it's super important to be clear about what we mean by play here. We're not necessarily talking about competitive sports or video games with leaderboards. We're talking about something called free play. It's about purposeless fun. The only point of the activity is the joy you get from doing it. That's it. Okay, so this isn't just some fluffy, feel-good idea. Let's get into the science, because this is where it gets really fascinating. It turns out that reclaiming play isn't just a nice thing to do, it's a biological necessity for our brains. Just let that sink in for a second. Neurological repair. That quote comes from neuroscientific research, and it totally reframes everything. It suggests that when we don't play, we're not just missing out on fun. We are actively preventing our brains from doing critical maintenance. And the benefits are so real. Play literally triggers the release of endorphins, those amazing feel-good chemicals. It sharpens our brain function and helps our memory. It makes us more creative and better at solving problems. It helps us build trust and connect with other people. And according to helpguide.org, it can even boost our energy and our immune system. And one of the biggest brain boosts we get from play is something called cognitive flexibility. Think of it like this. Play is like yoga for your brain. It stretches your thinking, making it less rigid and more agile. It's what allows you to adapt, to innovate, and to see solutions you couldn't see before. All right, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds great, but who actually has time for this? Well, let me show you an amazing real-world example of this need for play just bubbling up to the surface in a huge way. So let's go to South Korea, a place famous for its incredibly intense, high-pressure work culture. A really interesting trend has just exploded there. Thousands and thousands of adults, total strangers, are getting together for these massive meetups. And what are they doing? They are playing a giant citywide game of cops and robbers. It's literally a huge game of tag. In fact, when the singer Lee Young-ji put a call out on social media for people to join, over 100,000 people signed up to play. It's incredible. So why is this blowing up right now? Well, it's like the perfect antidote to modern life. It's a total digital detox. You're getting, as one person put it, dopamine from physical activity, not from staring at a screen. And it taps into this desire for what are being called loose connections, that feeling of community and belonging, but without all the pressure and deep commitment. Okay, so how do we bring this feeling back into our own lives? Especially if, a citywide game of tag isn't happening in our neighborhood this weekend. The final piece of the puzzle is all about giving ourselves permission to be inefficient. This really all comes down to that famous quote from George Bernard Shaw. It perfectly captures the whole idea. Play isn't something we're supposed to outgrow. It's actually the very thing that keeps us from growing old on the inside. And here is the most powerful, and maybe the weirdest, first step you can take. Do something inefficiently, on purpose. Take a different route home just to see where it goes. Try brushing your teeth with your other hand. Just wander for 10 minutes with no destination. It's a small act of rebellion against that constant demand for productivity, and it creates a little space for that play voice to finally be heard. And hey, if you're drawing a blank, here are just a few super simple ideas. To de-stress, maybe just dance around your kitchen to a favorite song. To connect with people, you could host a simple board game night. To just get moving, how about flying a kite? The point is, there's no goal. It's just about the fun of doing it. So look, the big takeaway here is not to add play more as another stressful item on your wellness to-do list. Not at all. It's an invitation to step off the optimization treadmill, even if it's just for a few minutes. So I'll leave you with this question. What's one wonderfully inefficient, totally joyful thing you can do today?